Do you understand the grinding? What? No, it's frozen? What the? Come on. Yeah, deposit this? Yes, it's just enough. Yeah, we won't even wait to get back. We gotta do this as soon as possible. Go here. Enter the site while the sale is still going on. We have a few days, but renovate. Bing. Add the second garage floor. Add the third garage floor. Look at this. I will have only $2,000 left, but we'll have it. 1.2 million. Woo-hoo! First car into level 2, yes. Office garage 2. I'm curious as to how far up this goes, whether it goes down, up, does it go up more, does it look exactly like going into garage number 1? Do I pass off? No, you go right into 2, alright. So it's the same graphics one way or another. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Here we are. Where, am I standing in the way or something? Or? A boink. Yep, that's. I guess I was spawned right where the car was. Well, I think it's time to do the time warp again.
One eternity later.
Okay, so what was the point of all of that activity? Well, finally, I've been able to expand my office space here thanks to the sales that were going on. I've been reorganizing things a little bit. Here, let's take a look at Garage 1. Now, Garage 1 is, I'm not going to say the least interesting of them, but this is the stuff I normally use. Got the 90% of the time, if I'm going out, I take it in the Shotaro, or I am taking the Instigator. I either need heavy armor or I need something fast, and that's how I usually go. Now, I just got this Pissvasser Dominator, and so this is one of the cars I'm going to be working on. It's completely unmodified, and so that has to be worked on. We have to get that down to the shop. Probably throw some mud tires on this because we all know that's the speed trick. And let's zip this upstairs here. Now the next floor up. Oh, it always is like this. It's quiet all day, and then my phone starts zipping along. All right, yeah, I know about that. All right, very cool. You probably heard the feedback. These are the cars that are inspired by personal cars from my life or my family, something like that. Now this, I know what you're thinking. Did any of us ever own a Viper or some kind of racing derivative? No. But as a small child, I did have a Green Machine big wheel, and this is where that inspiration comes from. Loved that deal. Let's see. This is probably the only car in the game that I'm actually close to driving now. I do have a Windstar of the exact same color breakdown. Let's see. This is very similar to a Crossfire owned by one of my uncles I was very close to. Let's see. This is an homage to my mom's GTO. She had a 66. These two vehicles are both homages in various forms to my father's 69 Mach 1. That's good. And this is, of course, a very close visual representation of the car I drove in high school. Yes, it wasn't a Grand National, but it was an 81 Regal, and this is more of an 88, but we're pretty close. We're pretty close. And the top floor is nothing but potential now. That's kind of cool. We have a lot of expansion right here. A lot of cars coming out, so that's a good thing. Now, let's move to floor number 2. Before we do that, let's see. I'm going to try and determine, just get a visual representation here of floor 1. Are we going up or down? You know, that's always, logically, we'd be going higher to go to, come on, there we go, to Office Garage 2. Now, let's look out the window, first of all. Okay, I think we're higher up. Yeah, looks like actually the ledge where I land when I do that bike stunt. So we must be going up in the world. Now, this is 2A, B, and C are kind of my show car areas here. Here are all my Hollywood homages here. You got your Dukes of Hazzard, as close as they'll let you make it. The A-Team van, you got the Scooby-Doo van, the Mystery Machine, the Mirthmobile. Yes, we get the Mirthmobile going on. We got the car from 48 Hours and another 48 Hours, although that's kind of close, but not really. And then you got the Family Truckster over here, and then we have to go upstairs. And of course, Tommy Vercetti Sabre Turbo right here, as close as I could make it, even with the lowest resolution wheels I could get, so it looks like it does in the game. And this one, of course, is the Initial D inspired Futo. And that's the last of our homage cars right here, but we've got that going for us. Then we get into the holiday inspired cars, like this is the Easter Egg Special. The Christmas car, which I actually got at Christmas. This was a special release at Christmas here. We've got the St. Patty's Day Special, of course. You know, my Moonbeam. The Valentine's Day Special, lights up pink with the running lights. The 4th of July Special, or the Independence Day Special, depending on how you'd like to put it. Next floor, here we have my original Steelers Voodoo Special. I don't know why. Well, I was going Steelers with everything at the time. And this really does look good in that particular color scheme. Do like that one. Then we have 2 Frankensteins. And the reason that I have 2 Frankensteins is that I didn't know that you'd be able to get them after you'd purchased one. And I wanted to do 2 different color schemes. And I think this is one of the first time I ever bought a shark card because I was in a complete panic mode that I'd never see them again. And they really are very good looking, and they really do handle like abject crap. So They're not too slow, but you definitely don't want to race them with anything. Now the Lurcher over here, which was in the same boat, I made that in the same set of purchases. This is actually not too bad in a muscle car race. It's not going to dominate anything, but it's definitely, you know, I've done okay with this, and I do like it in its kind of Halloween. These are kind of my 3 Halloween specials right there. You know, if you're into the Halloween stuff. Now this here, of course, the Tron special, which is my main muscle car racer right now. I'm going to have to see how it breaks down against the new Pisswasser Dominator for my own personal style. It outhandles the Pisswasser, but it's not considered the fastest anymore now that we have the Pisswasser Dominator per Brophy 1322. Taking a peek out from the 3rd floor. You know, this might be just rotating us around to different parts of the building. I don't know. Or are we higher up? I'm actually kind of confused as to where I'm at here. This is on the other side. So I don't know if one's higher than the other, if it's just a positioning thing. Yeah, at any rate, well, here we are in garage number 3, which I thought was going to be the top garage, so we made it the place for the Top Gear Grand Tour kind of inspired vehicles. Let's take a walk around here. This, of course, is an obvious, and I believe this was intentional from the developers at Rockstar, and they want to have these options available to us. But this is an obvious homage to the Jeremy Clarkson moped that he used in the Vietnam special. This is one of my oldest cars. This is my Sentinel XS, which has been completely maxed out and customized. And I just have it here as just because they do so many BMW kind of things. And this is my fastest one, so I put that here. Then you have, now this was originally my black and yellow Bravado Gauntlet that I have used for a lot of races. And once we saw the episode of the Grand Tour where they were in Italy, I'm like, oh yeah, this is getting repainted. Right next to Richard Hammond's Gauntlet here, at least the Richard Hammond inspired Gauntlet, is the Mariachi. Yes, that's right, the Mariachi Tornado, which you can only get by going through and interrupting a cut kind of scene, a strange scene, a random happening in the game. I'll put a link in the description to my video on that. And that's just here simply because, well, it's kind of representative of all the jingoistic kind of things the guys do just to rub everybody the wrong way. It's just what they do. And if you look at this, you see a bunch of guitars and a sombrero and some whiskey. And let's look at the car. If this isn't somewhat off base, and I really don't know what it is. I don't know why they use this for the whole Thelma and Louise encounter that you have to, you know, basically shoot Thelma and Louise to get the car before they drive it off the cliff. But it is what it is. Now, over here, on a more positive note, this is, of course, almost direct copy of the 6x6 that Hammond drove in Dubai. And this, of course, is my other Insurgent, which I have kept just because it has the original paint. That's the only way you can get this original paint. I bought 2 of them when they were at 50% off. And to match the show, I should really paint it red, but that's such a nice green, and it really didn't work for me as red. I gotta tell you, that was a cool episode, but I had no idea why that thing was painted red, and I'm just gonna leave mine green. And, of course, these represent the 3 Mustangs that they used in the inaugural episode of the Grand Tour. Going from left to right, you have Hammond's, Jeremy's, and May's, just as they drove them in. And the rest of this is, of course, just basically expansion space. Because I do have a lot of cars I plan to put in here. Most of them are ridiculously expensive. See, you got lots of room. The potential here is really unlimited. I mean, the Hijack Rustin was definitely... They've had similar cars going on in a lot of different episodes. And I think in a recent episode of the Grand Tour, May was driving one. The GP1, certainly I'm sure they've covered that, although I would probably prefer a T20 over the GP1. It seems more significant. The Tempesta, of course, looks like a Huracan, so that would work. The Reaper would work. Probably the Jibachi. Oh, definitely the Pfister 811. We're probably going to get one of those. That's on the must-get list. We need a Vapid FMJ in blue. We need a Windsor drop because we've definitely seen them do all kinds of different things with Bentleys and in Rolls Royces in general. Definitely a baller because they definitely worship at the altar of Range Rover. There's the T20, which is probably the most Top Gear thing here. And really one of the most Grand Tour things here, because this was part of the Trinity of Supercars. Same kind of thing goes for the Osiris. There's a bunch. There's really almost any supercar. Certainly the Masacaro and the Zentorno. The Zentorno, that's one, you know, when they did the Sesta Elemento, that was one of my favorite car reviews of all Top Gear time. The Turismo R, definitely. Both the Cheetah and the Entity would fit, and of course the Adder. And probably eventually they'll do the new version of the Bugatti. I already own an Entity, but I'm keeping that in with the black and gold racers because that's really where it belongs. That's a whole other garage, another day. The Bullet and the Feltzer, I think, were both cars that probably Jeremy owned. And of course, you know, the Carbonizzari and the Coquette. But they're very Top Gear, I guess, in their own way as well. Probably going to get another Infernus at some point. The Obey 9F and the Obey 9F Cabrio. The Cabrio, in fact, I think I can repaint. That's actually one from when they went across Spain. That was one of the cars of awesomeness there. I have a Super Diamond that I might repaint. I have to see what episode that was in, something similar, and then make sure, you know, repaint it so that it matches. Right now it's in a nice root beer. And, of course, we need to do a Bravado Banshee at some point and then paint that up just like the Viper that did not get Hammond to the Mexican border on time. And perhaps a Pfister Comet just so that it could be the one from the episode where they tried to light Hammond's pants on fire through pizza. Really, truly, they've done so much on that show. There's any number of rally cars, rally trucks, stuff that they're going to do in the future. We have no idea. It's just really, there's oh, definitely we need some Biftas. At least one Bifta. Because, I mean, just that whole dune buggy thing going across Africa was just phenomenal. Somewhere along the line, they got to do something with a surfer. I don't know exactly what, but there will be something. Interestingly enough, the BF dune buggy, that's the bodiless version of it, which is hard to find one of those in game. That's what it looks like. I wonder if it actually comes that way or if that's a glitch. What happened here? Where's all the cars? Come on, load up. It's actually acting like it's the real internet here. That's just great. And I think, you know, we'll come up with stuff down the line. We'll figure out more stuff to put in the Top Gear / Grand Tour homage area. I should point out that there are a couple cars that really belong in the Top Gear garage that I can't put in the Top Gear garage. And that would, of course, be number one, the Technical Aqua. Painted white, this would look exactly like the truck that they used to cross the English Channel. Minus the gun, but I mean, the gun's a nice touch. And this, of course, must be kept in my specials garage. Haven't purchased that one yet. I think the original paint job might be an homage to the first truck that Jeremy tried to take across the English Channel, which, of course, capsized. And, of course, I got to get one of these in red just to commemorate the race between his version of the Blazer Aqua, whatever that was called, it doesn't have machine guns, and the Alfa Romeo 4C. Really, it's kind of impressive how many of these things. I mean, this one was based off of a truck from Mythbusters. You know, this one's probably half of the post-apocalyptic movies that you see. Of course, Knight Rider. I mean, they definitely pull from a lot of different things in television. And any of these right here. Yeah, get a Comet Retro. That would definitely fit the whole Top Gear kind of stylings. Definitely driven one of those somewhere along the line. And there you have it, folks. That's kind of what we've done with the garages. I'm so glad that the sales were available. And I'm so glad that I ground out all the hours to get all the money to get all of this stuff. And quite frankly, I might take a break here. I might put this guy in the pajamas. Not because I'm going to do CEO in pajamas, but because he needs a nap. On that note, this is your Black Knight. Have a great night. I have no money.